Yes guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to another YouTube video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Nathan. I'm an online coach and I help guys and girls achieve life-changing and sustainable fitness transformations. We are closing in on 1K subs. So if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing to see more videos like this. In today's video, I'm gonna go through my entire gym bag and I'm gonna show you exactly what I bring to the gym, all the accessories I use and why I use them. Before I go into the gym bag itself, the gym bag I actually use is one from Bulk. So I used to use a Nike one, but I now use this Bulk one. It's so much bigger. It's got the two compartments at the side. It's got one at the top. It's got a really nice amount of space to put all your accessories, your water bottles and everything like that in there. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Okay, so let's go into the very first accessory that's in my gym bag. If you haven't got these already, I highly suggest getting some. These are barbell clamp collars, which go obviously on a barbell. As you might know, trying to get yourself some clips or trying to find some clips at the gym is basically impossible. They're all over the place, most of them being used, they go missing, people probably steal them and everything like that. So I think personally, just buy your own. And I prefer these to clips anyway, because clips after a while become really stiff. It's really kind of frustrating to get them off, whereas these are just really simple to use. Obviously comes undone and like clips it like so. You can get these from Amazon for literally, I think 12, 13, 14 pounds. You can obviously carry them in your bag, and whenever you use barbells at the gym, you can use these to obviously put your weights on, obviously for a little bit of safety as well. And of course guys, all the accessories that I talk about in today's video, I'm going to leave all the links in the description below. Let's go on to my second accessory from my gym bag, and this is one that I don't actually see used very often. These are Cobra Grips. Okay, so I would use these when I'm holding onto very heavy dumbbells. I tend to use these when I do like a dumbbell RDL, or I use these if I'm doing very heavy puller movements, so deadlifts, bent and rows, again, barbell RDLs, because I find these are better than straps. The reason I find these are better than straps is because they don't kind of cut off the circulation for around your wrists. You have a better grip as well, because obviously it's made of leather rather than kind of a slightly thinner material. And I just feel that it takes you can purely kind of focus on that particular movement rather than having to focus on your straps not giving way, if that makes sense. So yeah, these are Cobra Grips, really easy to put on. And definitely I'd suggest getting these. I'm going to put this again in the description below. Definitely consider trying getting some of these for any kind of really heavy puller movements. I am going to contradict myself a little bit, because in this bag I have actually got some straps, and to be fair, Carly mainly uses these ones, but sometimes I do occasionally use these. I prefer using straps like this when I'm doing movements such as lat pull down, maybe a dumbbell row. To be fair, you don't necessarily have to use the grips. You could probably use straps. Something that's a lot less heavy loading, like I said, than like an RDL or a bent or a row. So that's probably when I would use straps. But I definitely do think, guys, if you haven't done already, try and create that kind of foundation first. Get used to kind of gripping a barbell, an RDL, or if you're doing like pull-ups without using straps first. Kind of create that foundation. Obviously get stronger forearms as well before you start to introduce these. These do make a massive difference to holding the weight, because once you get past a certain point, it's not necessarily the weight itself, it's just trying to hold on to it. You can do the exercise, but you just need to hold on to it correctly. So yeah, that's my third accessory in my bag. These are the straps. This is a really interesting one, and this is one that only comes out sometimes on leg days, depending on the type of movements I do and how I'm feeling for squats. So this was actually free with the trainers that I use, and I'll talk about those in a second. These are just some kind of heels that you can slip in with some shoes, and the shoes I'm referring to are Metcon 6s. I'm actually going to do a YouTube video on these. I'm going to do a review. These are absolutely fantastic to squat in, and the heels themselves do come with the trainer when you kind of purchase them. Having a slightly elevated heel can be beneficial, especially if you've got poor mobility or poor ankle mobility, when you squat down, and if your heel slightly comes up slightly, having a slightly elevated heel may be quite beneficial to yourself. You'll see a lot of people when they do leg days and they do squats, they obviously have the kind of heel elevated shoes. But these themselves, obviously, I like to wear them on leg days. They're fantastic when I do like kind of RDLs or leg press, and occasionally when I do squats, I kind of introduce this. So this is always in my gym bag in case I want to kind of put the heel into the shoe. Whether you're a beginner or you're slightly more advanced, what I want you to do is I want you to track your progress at the gym. By tracking your progress, you're going to make the most amount of progress. You're going to get the most out of your sessions. And by that, what I mean is I want you to obviously customize your training split. Obviously, I want you to put together your workouts with your exercises, your sets and your reps. And then I want you to track it either via an app, or what I use is Logbook, okay? I got this, I think from WH Smith for like £10, okay? And in here, I track all my trainer numbers, all my sets, everything like that, so I can monitor my progress from week 1 up until week 12, week 16 of my particular training block. The reason I do this is because I want to monitor my trainer numbers, so I want to beat them or at least maintain them from the week before. And also, if I'm training for performance, when I'm doing like kind of metcons or EMOMs and I'm doing it for time, I want to beat those as well. I want to beat the time. So if you are going to the gym and you're just kind of picking up a barbell or a dumbbell and just kind of doing whatever you want to, that's fine. But if you truly want to make progression, download an app that you can use, or simply £10, buy yourself a logbook and you can monitor your progress through here. Another accessory that I use that I don't actually see too often being brought into the gym, and that's a pair of D handles. Okay, so you'll see these at the gym. You've probably used them yourself when you do cable flies or like a side lateral raise on a resistant machine. And a bit like the clips that I talked about earlier, you will see these at the gym, but sometimes you might only be able to find one. They might not be matching. They might sort of be all over the place. People might be using them. So what I did is I just bought some from Amazon, again, link down below, and it just solves all the problem as well. The reason I also brought these as well is because when I do a seated row, I don't actually like using the kind of attachment that comes with the exercise. I like to kind of customize like my wrists a little bit more, like kind of change them around a little bit. So yeah, that's why I kind of brought these. So I use them for like seated rows and any kind of cable fly movements that I do. And it just solves that problem, just trying to search around the gym, trying to find some handles. And these ones are quite, they're not kind of flimsy as well, and they're not metal either. I don't like the metal ones because it just doesn't feel right. And then obviously the flimsy ones break, and then yeah, you can't get both of them. So buy your own. 2 more items to go in this gym bag, and the first one I'm going to start with is a resistant band. So this is the lightest resistance there is. I have got others that are heavier, and of course when myself and many other people as well adapted to home workouts, was using resistant bands, which will obviously allow me to find alternative ways of performing a particular exercise. But this one always stays in my gym bag because I like to do a little bit of shoulder mobility. I like to warm up the rotator cuffs as well before I do my push day or my upper day as well. So yeah, I use this. I tend to use this to, like I said, do my rotator cuffs, doing like internal and external rotations on a kind of bench press. And it obviously warms up and works the rotator cuffs before I go into the movement. And of course, if you didn't have a resistant band, you can just do a lot of these movements on the kind of resistance machine with one of the handles, which I spoke about a second ago. But again, if you just bring your own, you can literally just attach this to anything, make a little knot, and then off you go. So yeah, again, Amazon or Decathlon, loads of other places that do this, £8, £9, £10. and obviously, of course, get this into your gym bag. The final accessory that's in my gym bag, and this I use when I do conditioning or anything really high intensity at the gym, and this is a skipping rope, okay? This is actually a really bad skipping rope as well. I had this just over a year. Note to self, don't use skipping ropes outside because it does that, okay? But yeah, so just a simple kind of skipping rope in the bag. This is very, very good if you are of course cutting down, or you do enjoy cardio or just something that's really intense. Again, just get yourself a skipping rope. You can incorporate this into anything, whether you're doing a circuit or you're doing like a Metcon for time. This is a really good way of just obviously getting the heart rate really, really elevated that you can sustain for a period of time. It's a really kind of taxing movement as well. Get yourself a skipping rope, put it in the gym bag, and of course when you do any kind of cardio or intense workouts, you obviously can just take it out and get straight into it. So yeah, that's the last of my accessories that are in the gym bag. A couple of items just to mention that aren't in my gym bag at the moment, but I have used before and maybe have used for yourself to put them in the bag to use at the gym. The very first one is a belt. So using a belt when you're doing squats may be beneficial. I've used this myself personally. I'm not at the moment, but of course that's something maybe to consider to take to the gym. The second one is chalk. Okay, so this is something that someone would use when they're doing like kind of deadlifts, mainly bent over rows maybe, but it's when you're kind of pulling really heavy from the ground. I personally prefer to use the grips as I spoke about, or the straps, but of course you can use chalk. Make sure you get half decent chalk, because otherwise it will just go bitty and it won't really kind of give you too much of an advantage when pulling from the ground. So they're the two items that aren't in my bag. I have used before, might use again in the future, that you might consider putting into your own gym bag. So that is every single accessory that's in the gym bag that I use at the gym, and I'd be really interested to know if you use any of these yourself at the gym. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.